Hello everybody, it's me, Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman.
They call him the Bookman, his rants never end. He's angry and he's loud and he has a lot of friends. If you have Alyssa Milano's number, you can always send it to Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman.
That song don't make no sense.
Hello everybody, it's me, Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman. And we're still talking heroines. Alice in Wonderland. You've heard of it, haven't you? The 1865 classic written by Charles Ludwig Dodgson about the nonsensical happenings in a fantasy world stumbled upon by a young woman named Alice and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Disney then immortalized it with its animated movie released in 1951. Then in 2010, with the help of Tim Burton, and recreated their vision of old in the movie called Alice in Wonderland. How would the new version look? Well, let's take a look at it together, shall we? Movie opens with Alice as a child who has a very expansive imagination that's supported by her father, who happens to be quite the innovator himself. And now you've learned the history of Alice you never did before, and probably didn't care to. She then grows up into Mia Wasikowski. I'll get it over with. That's it. Yes, I would. And her tight-assed mother speaks against her imagination. In fact, she wants to set her up with this low-standard, red-headed nincompoop because he has a lot of money and good standing. So it seems like the smart move. But Alice isn't a traditionalist. In fact, she wants to explore other options. But he, in turn, proposes to marry her.
Will you be my wife?
Well, everyone expects me to.
Really, sweetheart, you don't need to explain why you don't want that guy. After denying him, she follows the white rabbit that she's been seeing, and of course stumbles down that hole we remember.
White rabbit.
And lands into the exterior of Wonderland. You know the routine. She sees a door she can't get through, then she finds a bottle that says, "Drink me," and when she does, she shrinks. Then she sees a key she needs on a table too high, sees a cake that says, "Eat me," does, and grows too big. Then she drinks the potion again, and shrinks. Alice, you're not doing your pituitary gland any favors right now. Finally, she makes it to Wonderland. And it seems as though all of the little people like the White Rabbit and Tweedledee and Tweedledum remember her, including the field mouse who says it's not her. Apparently, she had been there before. They then bring her to the wise blue caterpillar that smokes too much.
Yes, you ought, stupid girl. Unroll the oraculum.
Now I have a machine gun.
Ho, ho, ho.
That's just a scroll that tells her future and how she's going to battle this large dragon-like monstrosity. Then they're attacked by the Red Queen's knights and this large cat-like creature. She doesn't look to be affected by the size of that thing. Eventually, Tweedledee and Tweedledum are captured by this flying beast and taken back to the Red Queen, played by Lean Bottom Carter, who goes about her tyrannical business of pushing people around. She has a large head, and she keeps removing heads. See the irony? But Alice moves further into Wonderland and finds the Calico Cat, who then leads her to the tea party thrown by the Mad Hatter, played by Johnny Depp. And things in his own little piece of bliss are not looking as good as well. They're then met by the Red Queen's Knights again, and her personal captain. So the Mad Hatter does his best to hide Alice until the threat is diffused. Then he says he's going to help her get to the White Queen, the honorable true leader of Wonderland. And as they're going together, he tells Alice all about the things that occurred since she left, and how the peace in Wonderland was destroyed by the Red Queen and her minions. Speaking of which, they track him down. So he tosses the tiny Alice far away, and she comes across a bloodhound who takes her to the moat where all the heads of the fallen from the Red Queen have gone before. As the Red Queen plays her typical game of cricket with flamingos, she comes across the grown Alice after taking another piece of cake from the rabbit. "Oh, lousy tree, why do you grow so high in this castle?" Not knowing who she is, she fits her up with a nice little dress and lets her stay at court, where they bring the Mad Hatter before her. The Queen bids to spare him so he can make her a nice hat. We then see the bloodhound that was with Alice find his way back to the White Queen, played by Anna Hathaway. Now, for future reference. And that's it. Of course I would. Then we find out exactly what makes the Mad Hatter so mad. But there are other matters to attend to. One being, Alice has to find a special sword to destroy this dragon creature. Unfortunately, it's in the den of the cat creature that attacked her before. After that, the captain of the Red Queen hits on Alice, and it is seen by others. She then welcomes herself back into this cat's den, and after that non-occurrence, they seem to make amends, and the creature allows her to get the sword. After being accused of hitting on the captain, Alice is attacked, and the field mouse admits who she is. This brings all of the Red Queen's troops to surround her, but her new friend helps her escape and takes her back to the White Queen, who gives her a formula that shrinks her back to her normal size. The next day, the Mad Hatter is about to be executed. Then we find out it's actually the Calico Cat, and the Mad Hatter is right over there. But they escape, but Alice and friends take him back to the White Queen, where they prepare for battle. And speaking with the Blue Caterpillar once again, Alice realizes exactly who she is and how when she was a child, she had stumbled upon Wonderland back then, which is why they all remember her. So now she remembers herself as well. And she dons the armor and prepares to meet up with this creature that the Red Queen's about to send after her. And what does he look like? Yeah, that's a pretty intimidating foe. But Alice takes on the challenge until it starts speaking to her.
Oh, my old foe. We meet on the battlefield once again.
Christopher Lee? A war breaks out after the Red Queen cheats a little bit, and they battle while Alice is avoiding the hatred of this dragon creature. And after a while, she finally gets the jump on him, literally, and beheads him. The White Queen is then given the crown and the authority to banish her sister, the Red Queen, and her captain to a lifetime of exile together. She then, with the blood of the dragon creature that Alice just slain, makes another potion that brings Alice back home. And back to the party where everyone awaits her decision once more as to whether or not she's going to marry this jackass. She then tells everybody she's going to do what she wants to do, which is continue her father's plans of exploring out into the vast unknown of the world. And that's pretty much it. So what did I think of this movie? Strangely enough, I didn't think it was strange enough. It really didn't leave any impression on me despite who was behind it. Disney, of course, is Disney, and Tim Burton is rather animated in his direction, yet for some reason, being Alice in Wonderland, I would have expected to be a little more over the top. It was very plain, it was very basic, it was pretty much like everyone involved said, here's Wonderland, here's Alice, here are all the furry creatures you know that speak to her, here's the Mad Hatter, here are the queens, here's the conflict, that's it. It was almost like a ride that really didn't take anywhere, just around and round in a circle where all the little displays are there to thrill you, and they don't. To be fair, there's nothing really much more to say to it other than it's there, that's about it. And seeing as how it's Alice in Wonderland, I just expected more from it. That's all. Overall, it's not an experience I think you need to go through, but if you are curious and you are very bored, I would suggest taking a look at it. So Alice in Wonderland didn't really do us any favors, but what will the next review bring during this tribute to heroines? You'll just have to wait and see. Until then, I thank you all for watching. I have more for you soon to come, so stay tuned, take care, and have a great day.